Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Juice Baseball channel. And welcome back to another episode of the Los Angeles Angels Rebuild here on MLB The Show 25. Today, we take on another off-season. And another off-season that comes after a very, very heartbreaking loss to the LA Dodgers. We made it back to the World Series, maybe improbably in that. We beat the Guardians 4-3. Some people didn't think we would get through the Guardians, me included, but somehow those last two games, we absolutely dominated. I don't know why being at home made us change the way that we were hitting, but it did. And then we go against the Dodgers. We didn't start great with two losses at home. We lost our home field advantage. We take the first away game for us, the first home game for the Dodgers. We took that game, come back and lose the next game, so we're already down 3-1. We're in a horrible situation, but then we rally back. We win with Jared Jones on the mound in Game 6. It was unbelievable. Or Game 5, I mean. Is this Game 5? Yeah, it's Game 5. Never mind. We win in Game 5. Then we go back home to Game 6 of the World Series. And we put up a great game, a very great game, but we just could not get the job done. Rhett Lauder, for all the complaining that I did against Rhett Lauder earlier in the postseason, he didn't pitch horribly. He did allow 4 earned runs, which led to our demise. But he didn't pitch horribly until like the 8th inning. That's probably more on my end for not taking him out early enough. But I thought that he could do it, and he just couldn't do it. And that led to our loss and the series loss. So now our history here in this series. Year number 1, we won 68 games and missed the postseason. Year number 2, we won 85 games and lost in the ALDS. Year number 3, we won 89 games and won the World Series last year. And now year number 4, we have won 99 games, by far our best record so far, and lost in the World Series. Now, what happens with this roster? I do think that Mike Trout retires. I mean, he kind of has to at this point. He's been good. For what his age is and what his regression is hitting, how hard it's hitting, he's been good. But he needs to retire. He's costing us way too much money. 35.5 for the next 2 years, and he's not going to be a starter anymore. The only reason he's a starter now is because he was actually producing, but I doubt that he's taken up a spot for some development. Like, we could put John Kenzie out there. We could put Braden Montgomery out there. We can put anybody that we want in that right field spot, and yet we have Mike Trout out there because we feel obligated to, and he was actually producing. Like, it wasn't like I put him out there as a gimmick to just for the fans because he's Mike Trout. No, he was actually producing. He was one of our better hitters in the postseason this year. I mean, look at these numbers he put up: 266 average, 10 RBIs, 2 home runs. For that overall and that age, those are unbelievable numbers. So during the regular season and the post, he was actually pretty good as a 69 overall player who's 36 years old. But I do think that magic is probably run out. He needs to retire, and I hope that he does that this episode, this offseason. So with him, let's go with him retiring. Let's say that's happened. So with Trout out of the lineup, where do we go from there? So Devers probably gets traded, even though he has been good. He just hasn't been great, and he had a drop off of a year in terms of his production. His average went up a little bit, but he did have a down spiral. He was inconsistent at best in the postseason, but I do think he's good, and I think we can get something for him, something pretty valuable for him. So Devers probably goes away. Neto was unbelievable. I like Zach Neto a lot. Rengifo was great. Probably our most important hitter in the postseason. We just re-signed him last year, so he's not going anywhere. Then we've got John Kenzie Noel, which he's going to stay around probably. He's not that expensive. He's just going to get a little bit more expensive with arbitration, but he's still not going to be crazy expensive. So he's going to stay around, and I don't know if he's going to be the DH, if he's going to move to right field. It doesn't say that he can play right field. Oh, yeah, actually, he says he can play right field because that's his natural position. So I don't know if he moves to right field or what happens to him, but he definitely stays on the big league team. Ailey Perez was fantastic in the first round of the playoffs. After that, he kind of fell off a cliff, which is not a surprise. I'm not shocked by it. He's 20 years old in his first ever postseason appearances. He's a rookie. He's the defending rookie of the year. And I'm not shocked at all that he struggled in the postseason. I would have been more shocked if he would have been consistently great in the postseason as a 20-year-old. But he's got such a high ceiling that I'm so excited about Ailey Perez in the future, that he's obviously got a mainstay roster spot on the big league club. It's just a matter of what position is he going to play. Is he going to play first base for us long term, or is he going to be the catcher? Because we've got Logan O'Hoppe, who has been maybe our best player this entire series. He's been the most consistent all-star. He's been a great hitter for us. He's been a clutch player. He was good in that World Series run, but his contract is up headed into this episode. So what happens with Logan O'Hoppe? Do we just let him move on? Do we sign and trade him to have Ailey Perez be the starting catcher long term? Do we bring Shawano? Because we have Shawano, who I'd like to see if he could make something happen. And he can only play first base. He's got decent fielding. We could probably add third base to his resume, and he could probably play that fairly well. But he can, as of right now, he can only play first base. So maybe he moves to first, Ailey moves back to his natural catcher position, and O'Hoppe goes away. That's a possibility. James Wood's here to stay, even though he had a tragically bad postseason. Horribly bad. Not happy with him about that, but he's obviously here to stay. We've talked about Mike Trout, and then Oneil Cruz. We brought him in a couple of off seasons ago, and he's been really good for us ever since we brought him in, and he was good in the playoffs, but he is a free agent. We're probably going to have to bring him back. And I do think we're going to have to spend a good amount of money, but I think it's going to be worth it because Oneil Cruz was really good for us. So that's kind of what I'm thinking for each position in the lineup. Now, as far as the pitching rotation goes, I have absolutely no idea. Luis Gil has been our ace since we brought him in the second episode, or not the second episode, but like it was the trade deadline of year number 2, I think it was, right? 2025, is that year number 2? Hold on. No, 2025 is year number 1. So it was the trade deadline of the very first year we brought Luis Gil in. And he was really good in 2026. Really good. Fell off a little bit in 2027. But was also very bad in the postseason as well, as we won the World Series. But then this year brought it back a little bit, but then was inconsistent again in the postseason. So I have no idea what we do with Luis Gil. Bryce Miller was really good in the regular season, not as good in the post. Jared Jones was really good in the regular season and really good in the postseason. Did have one slip up against Cleveland, but other than that, he was fairly good. And then Rhett Lauder, good in the regular season, sucked in the postseason. And Caden Dano was good. He just he got a raw deal in the postseason. He was a good pitcher. I respect what he did as a rookie. I respect what he did. The bullpen's going to need a little bit of work, I think. Ryan Helsley's been consistently good. Ben Joyce is just whatever. Kirk Green's been good, but he was a little bit worse in the postseason this year. We couldn't trust him as much. Rasmussen actually slipped up, even though I like Rasmussen a lot, and he's one of my favorite bullpen pitchers in baseball. Rasmussen actually slipped up once in the postseason, which is a little weird. It shocked me. Usade's been inconsistent, but good at times. Bo is weird. I don't know what we do with Bo. He's been good. He was good this year in the regular season, though. And then Taylor Rogers is just old. So I don't know what happened. He still pitched really well in the 12 games he pitched, but because his stats are so good, or at least they were. So I don't know what happens. But the pitching staff and the bullpen in general is going to be a big question this offseason. So let's move into it. Let's start the off-season episode. If you're curious about stats or who won any awards or anything like that, go watch the past couple episodes. The last episode of the regular season, and then some of the last episode of the postseason. We go over all that kind of stuff. So advance to the off-season. Please, Mike Trout, everybody cross your fingers. Your hitting coach, pitching coach, first base coach, and third base coach contracts are all done. So we're going to have to change our entire staff, basically. Please cross your fingers that Mike Trout retires. Here it goes. Please, Mike Trout, Please. You got to be kidding me. Mike Trout is still playing? Really? Tucker Barnhart retires. Mike Trout's going to play into his 37 season? Seriously, Trout? Do you want to just get all that money? Is that the thing? You got to be kidding me, man. You got to be kidding me. All right, well, I guess he's going to stay in the big league team. He's just not going to be a starter anymore. That's pretty rough. I was kind of banking on the fact that we had his $35 million freed up in our budget, because right now our budget is $91 million, which actually is fairly good. We can maybe make some splashes this year, unlike we've been able to in the past because we haven't had the cash. Let's first start out with our staff, because we are going to need a whole new staff. Everybody's contract is over, so let's start with the coaching staff. What do we want out of these guys? We probably want somebody that's obviously got an A attribute grade. I don't mind a negative as long as it's a negative for a stat that doesn't really matter. Like drag bunting has really no effect on us. So I think that a Victor Zarate could be good. I mean, +3 power, +2 clutch is obviously really, really solid. I wouldn't mind that. John McCarthy, +3 plate discipline's not bad. Contact is good. I think I'm going to go with Victor Zarate. The clutch and power, plus the vision. I mean, these are 3 really, really solid abilities or grades that I like. So we're going to offer him a contract as our hitting coach. We're going to give him $5 million over the course of 4 years. We'll give him $5 million and see what he says. That he does not like that at all. Okay, let's withdraw the offer and give him a new one. We're going to give him, what about does he like a shorter deal? Yeah, he likes a shorter. He only wants 3 years. Okay, that makes sense. We can give him that. We need a pitching coach. So who do we want to go with here? Maybe Manuel Brito. Pitching clutch, hits per 9, control and break. That's all pretty good. Velocity we don't really need. Marty Adams. At 65, I'm not that big of a fan of him. He's probably closer to retirement than he is not. Rocco Baldelli. A attribute grade. Plus home run. He's got a picture like he's a real person. I'm not familiar with him, but he's got a picture like he's a real person. Same with Carl Willis, obviously. +1 hits per 9, or home runs per 9, walks per 9 is 2+. I think we'll offer Rocco Baldelli a contract, and he's going to not cost as much. We'll give him $4 million. He likes that a lot. We need a first base coach. So who becomes our first base coach? +3 speed's always a good thing. -3 arm accuracy could come back to haunt us. Enrique Valenzuela. The -1 blocking's not bad. Terry Francona's kind of cool. 69 years old, nice. We could go Terry just for the vibes. He's obviously no longer managing the Reds. +2 fielding, stealing, and reaction. You know what? Give me Terry for the vibes. We don't have to pay him that much. I'll make him a little bit of a better offer. I'll give him 3.5. There we go. He's going to retire, so we'll have to replace him very soon. But just for the vibes, we'll go for Terry. Go for Tito. And then we will bring in a third base coach. And since we're already getting +2 for like reaction time. What was it? It was reaction. It was stealing and fielding. So since we're getting those, we could go for like a speed for this third base coach. Like Tom Cockrell. His -1 reaction probably just subtracts from the 2 that Terry's given us, so it'd just be +1. -3 arm accuracy from Osborne again. I'm not quite sure where I want to go with this. Carlos Sandoval's probably not that bad. The -1 durability is not going to kill us. He gives us +2 speed. I think I'm going to offer Carlos Sandoval a contract, and he likes that as well. So we've got 4 new coaches possibly coming in, all for 3-year deals. That should fill our staff. Everybody else has got 2-year deals. The farm director, Cameron Irvine, and then Chris Woodard, our manager, has 2 years left on their contract. So let's see if those guys actually accept. We have some exclusive free agents. Thankfully, Ohapi and Cruz are both exclusive free agents, so we can sign and trade those guys if we need to. I'm not going to sign and trade Cruz, but just saying that's a possibility. So the qualifying offer is 1 year, $25 million for Oneil Cruz. I think I'm going to negate the qualifying offer, and we're just going to sign Cruz to a contract. I think that's worth it. He's a good player, and I want to keep him around. So a 5-year deal, and we have the money to do so right now. So I'm going to keep him around. We're going to give him upwards of $30 million. We have to get him interested. So we're going to give him probably 33, I would say. $33 million a year. It's going to be a lot, but it's not even our most expensive contract. It's one of our most expensive, but I think that's a fine offer. We're going to negate the qualifying offer. Then we have O'Hoppe, who I also think we're just going to sign and then possibly trade. His contract is going to be a lot more affordable for other teams to bring in. I just think, even though he's a great player, he's almost 30, and I think Eiley has a better future, which seems a little weird, but I do think that Eiley has a better future. I'm not guaranteeing that we're going to trade him. I'm just thinking that's probably what we do. As far as Rasmussen goes, I think we offer him the qualifying offer, which $25 million is going to be pretty expensive. Luis Castillo severely fell off in terms of his overall and his age. He pitched not amazing, but he wasn't killing us that much. I could see bringing him back on a small deal for like a AAA contract or something, be a AAA pitcher, a little veteran action. I could see that. We're already at $86 million pending. Javi Baez, I don't necessarily want. And the qualifying offer for Taylor Rogers is certainly not something I want to pay. I could give him a 2-year deal for possibly 1.5 per year. And then Javi Baez can basically just get like a bum contract just to be a backup for us. Okay, so those are the offers that I've made. $88.9 million in pending offers is kind of crazy, but we're going to go with it anyway. Rocco Baldelli has accepted the Angels' offer. So we got a new pitching coach. Carlos Sandoval is the new third base coach. What about Tito? Victor Zarate has accepted the Marlins offer as the hitting coach. Okay. So we don't get Victor Zarate. We're still battling for Terry Francona. Nobody else has offered him, which makes sense. He's 69 years old. So we're going after a hitting coach. All right. I was really hoping Zarate would be it because I liked what he was giving us. +2 power, +1 contact's not bad. +2 power, +2 clutch. Let's see. This guy gives us +3 power, but he's got a B grade. I'd rather go for A grades. I don't know how much that matters, but I'd rather go for A grades. Nobody else has really given us that much of a power boost, unless it comes with some pretty important negatives. So I think we'll stay up here at the top of the board and go with somebody like maybe a William Yang. That could be a possibility. Or Patrick Blackwell. These are probably the two guys I'm looking at. +2 power, +2 clutch, +2 drag bunting. He gives us +1s for other things. Let's go for Patrick Blackwell. He also gives us the -1 on the plate discipline, but shouldn't matter that much. Everybody is signed except for O'Hoppe, Rasmussen, Castillo. So that means Oneil Cruz accepted his new contract, which is kind of big, actually. Our budget now remains at $55 million. He becomes the second highest paid player other than Mike Trout. So, all right, Oneil Cruz got a new extension. O'Hoppe's still deciding. Rasmussen's still deciding, but he's got his qualifying offer. Today's the last day to offer these qualifying offers. Why is Castillo still debating? Just choose. How are we looking here? Nobody else is going after our guys. We should be able to enter free agency. And here we go. What'd that say? Something happened. I skipped it on accident. Elijah Green traded for traded to the Orioles for Jordan Westburg. Okay, big trade. Who accepted a contract? I didn't even see. Budget $35 million. So somebody accepted. O'Hoppe finally accepted. Beautiful. O'Hoppe's now under contract, which we could trade. And now we don't have that much money. We had like $90 million. Now we have $35 million. How's the staff looking? Can I see it? Coach contracts. Terry accepted. So we got Terry Francona. We're just waiting on Patrick Blackwell to accept his head coach or his hitting coach offer. Arbitration deals, tendered contracts. We got a lot of stuff to do here. But let me take a peek at free agency just before we get started. We've got J-Ram Gunnar Henderson, Ronald Acuna, George Kirby. What's the staff look like? George Kirby, Logan Webb, Kyle Bradish, Cole Reagans, Pablo Sanchez, Mitch Keller. Okay, so it's nobody that's like... There's some good players in here. Don't get me wrong. There's some good players in here. But there's nobody that's absolutely, unbelievably above everybody else. The bullpen, there's Rasmussen, but we got his qualifying offer, so we don't have to worry about that. Unless he obviously accepts. Accepts somebody else's offer, but he should just accept our offer, I would think. Williams at closer. You got Yanner Diaz. The catcher position we don't need, but there's some okay players in here. First base, I think we're comfortable with. Ketel Marte has significantly dropped off at 35 years old. He was the best second baseman in baseball, but he's really had a regressed career. Still productive, it looks like, but not as productive. There's Royce Lewis. I've been looking for him for years. He's my other white whale, other than James Wood. It's Royce Lewis. But he's regressing slightly at 89 overall, and he's 29 years old. Do we offer him a contract? He's not asking for that much money. I mean, he's asking for a long contract, but not that much money. The qualifying offer has been made for J-Ram for the Guardians. They're trying to keep him around. He's 36 years old. I feel like that'd be a lateral move with him and Devers. I mean, obviously, Gunnar Henderson would be unreal. He's had some pretty crazy seasons the past couple of years. He's in his prime, and that would be a sick addition to the team. We'd have to find a new spot for Neto. I don't even know if it'd be possible to bring him in. We don't need a left fielder because that's where James Wood plays. Center field, we have Oneil Cruz. And then right field, Ronald Acuna would be unreal. It'd be a sick pull. And he's getting better at 31. But he's going to be so expensive. Is there a world where we could get the top two guys? Two of the top three. Maybe even a starting pitcher. I don't know. Probably not, unless we trade our guys. But we have to figure out how much money we're going to have. So we have to do the tender contracts. We have to do the arbitration deals. We have to do all that before we can even offer anybody a contract. So let me go and do all this stuff. I will get the contracts renewed, and then I will go and offer arbitration to everybody. It's going to take me a minute, so I will see you guys when all of that is finished. All right, everything has been offered and done. Tendered contracts have been done. Everybody's renewed, and then everybody has been offered arbitration. Now, going through this, there are some expensive arbitration offers. I mean, just look at this screen right here. Miller and Jared Jones are both at 18 and 17 million respectively. 7 million for Lauder and Wood. I mean, these are expensive offers, which we already don't have that much money in the first place. So I have no idea what kind of money situation we're going to be at, but I do think it is time to pull the trigger on the trade of Rafael Devers. Now, since we're not going to offer J-Ram a contract in free agency, we're probably going to have to trade him for another third baseman, unless we want to go all in on Theo Gillen, who is developing. He's becoming very good, but I don't know if he's necessarily ready for a starting job at third base. Maybe he's ready to make the big league team, but I don't know if he's ready for a starting job at third base. We might need to find a guy for the short term, and you could argue that Devers is that short-term guy, but he's a little bit too expensive to just be a bridge. So maybe we need to find somebody that's slightly less expensive, but also up in that same kind of category, who could be a bridge, be productive. But there's not really a whole lot of guys at third base that I'm even interested in at this point. Cam Smith is going to be way too valuable. And he's going to also be fairly expensive on arbitration, I would think. Let's see. Ryan McMahon's not the right guy. Austin Riley, I feel like he'd be in the same boat as Devers. He's not that expensive. He's like $10 million cheaper, which could help us out in the long run. I mean, we could do a deal like that. He's 31. Devers is 32. I don't know. It feels like a lateral move to get Riley. And maybe that's what we need. Maybe we do need a lateral move. Alec Boehm's 32. He's got 2 years left. 2 years left. He's a little bit cheaper. I could see a move for Alec Boehm. He puts up good power numbers. 25 home runs, 23 home runs. He hits for average. He does pretty well. He could be that bridge third baseman until Theo Gillen's ready to come and be the actual starter. Or maybe Gillen doesn't even be the third baseman starter. He can play at every position, basically. So maybe he's not even the third base starter. He's very, very flexible. But Bohm is definitely on my radar. The only other guy that I would even consider would probably be, I don't even know. I mean, third base is not that deep. Junior Caminero, I guess, could be something. He's got arbitration. He's 85 overall, 25 years old. I could get down with a Junior Caminero, especially because he could be not just a bridge, but he could be the future at the position. So Junior Caminero is definitely an option. What does he look like hitting-wise? He's got good power, good contact. Junior Caminero is actually a solid option. He is on arbitration for the next 2 years. He's going to be very expensive. I think we could capitalize on this. I think we could use Devers' value and pivot to a younger, possibly better player. So I think this is the right idea. We're going to have to toss in some random jabroni. And that random jabroni is going to be probably Nick Senzel because he's $1 million. He costs $1 million. Is there anybody that I could grab that might not have good value? Let's see. Maybe there's a starter that I could grab. You got Eric Fletcher. I'm trying to get a little too aggressive here a little too greedy trying to grab these guys, but I mean, this guy looks like he could be pretty solid. His hits he's pretty low overall, especially 22. He's got low stats. Hoyt Cook is an interesting one. He's a good power shortstop. Jeez. He can't contact though. He can't just hit a base hit, but he can slap it out of the ballpark. That's a very interesting prospect. What about relief pitching? They don't really have anybody that's a prospect that I consider. I kind of want to take the not the Carlos Francisco, Hoyt Cook. Kind of want to take a flyer on him. Maybe he could be something very interesting. And I could also give you as Levis. I don't know. I never knew how to say his name. But we could give him, or I could give you Daryl Hernaiz, because he's a little bit more expensive. So let's do this deal. It's a massive deal. It's Junior Caminero and Hoyt Cook, two younger prospects. I guess Caminero's not a prospect anymore. For Devers and a bunch of randoms. Boom. Trade is done. That's a massive trade. Junior Caminero, obviously, now we have to do the arbitration stuff with. We're going to renew Hoyt Cook's contract, so he's back. And then we have to go and offer arbitration to Junior Caminero. How much is it? It's going to be 4.7. You know what? That's a lot cheaper than what we were paying Devers. It's a lot cheaper. So that's a huge move. That's a huge move. So Devers is now gone. And I like Devers. Devers is a good player, but we needed to make that move. Devers is gone. We still have Trout, which I can't believe. Luis Gil is $20 million. He's $20 freaking million. And he just hasn't been as consistent in the playoffs as I would like. And I don't know if anybody will ever be as consistent as I would. I have pretty high standards when it comes to the postseason. I don't know if anybody will be there. Brian Woo's got one last year of arbitration before he hits free agency. I feel like it's not the right move to make. Even though he had a great year, I don't know if it's the right move to make a trade for him. Skubal just got signed by the Braves last year, I think. So he's on a massive contract. That would be a stupid move. But the Braves got two pretty good pitchers. Plus Grant Holmes, they can bring him back. Yuri Perez, he should still be on arbitration. He is, but he's probably going to be a very expensive arbitration player. We could make the move, though, if we wanted to pivot to Yuri Perez, which I've done in the past. I've gotten Yuri Perez in past series and other MLB The Shows, but he's never turned into anything. Maybe this year they finally updated his simming, and maybe he actually pitches, because, I mean, this is a fantastic year. Maybe he finally simulates well. I have no idea. Logan Gilbert, Aaron Nola. I'd probably prefer to trade for a guy who we know how much he's going to cost. Hunter Green's entering his contract year. Very interesting. We'll keep an eye on that. I'd probably prefer to trade for a guy that we know how much he's going to cost, unlike a guy like Yuri Perez, where we think he might not cost that much, but then when we trade for him and then go to offer him arbitration, maybe he's like $18 million, like what Bryce Miller's making. So I don't know. There's a little bit of strategery we have to imply here. Paul Skeens would be fantastic. He's got one more year before free agency. He's going to ask for probably like $40 million, I would assume. But he had an unbelievable year. He wasn't even the Cy Young Award winner, but 10-5 with a 2.69. Are you kidding me? That's a crazy year. Paul Skeens would be real cool, but it's the same thing as what I was just talking about with Yuri Perez. He's got 1 year before arbitration. His arbitration deal is probably going to be around $18-20 million. Maybe even more, depending on, because he's a 97. And would we even be able to grab him? Is it even possible? What would I have to give up to get him? I'm not saying I am. I'm just curious about what I would have to give up. I can't give up Bo. I can't give up All Hoppy. Oh, that's right. We can't, since he accepted his offer, we can't trade him until June. So if we are going to make the Logan O'Hoppe deal, it's not going to happen right now. It's going to happen at the deadline episode. So that's something I forgot about. Who would we have to give up to get this man on our team? If we traded Neto, that would open up a spot for Gunnar Henderson, I guess. What can Neto play? Neto can't play any other position. Really, Zach? You can't play any other position? You could probably play second base, right? How are you and Renifo? Renifo can't play second base, and he's playing second base. So I feel like you could play second base if we asked you to. Mike Trout has no value anymore. That's kind of sad. Man, this is a trade that I really do kind of want to make, but I also don't kind of want to make because it would probably be so insane. But I also kind of want to make it. I kind of want to do it. I kind of want to see if I can bring in this man, this crazy, crazy man who's dating Livy Dunn. Oh my God, it's possible. There's a bunch of different people that I could add to this deal, and it would happen. If I did this, Luis Heel, Juan Brito, Nick Cavadas for Paul Skeens, Livy Dunn's boyfriend, we would have to know the situation. He's got 1 more year of arbitration, which is... It's this year, right? Yeah. This upcoming season is his arbitration year. So I think I want to make this move. It seems so crazy. Oh my God. I have a chance to get Paul Skeens. I'm going to take it. Oh my God. I just traded for Paul Skeens. Now, we have a history of Paul Skeens on this channel because, oh my God, it's 22 million. I thought it was going to be around there. We have a history with Paul Skeens on this channel because in the Cubs Legends series, we actually acquired Paul Skeens, but he did not play very well for us in our World Series run, so we had to get rid of him. But in this series, maybe it's going to be a little bit better because he's not going against a bunch of legends. But we now have Paul Skeens on the roster. I can't believe it. Oh my God. I actually am shocked that I actually made that move. I was not expecting to make that move. I did that move. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Okay. But I kind of want to go even crazier. Can I get Gunnar Henderson? And can I get Ronald Acuna Jr.? And can I get... I don't want to get too crazy. But can I get, Can I get a starting pitcher that's actually solid? There's Tanner Bybee, who we had on our team for the Cy Young season, which still baffles me. How did you go from a 21-win season with a 2.43 to what you produced this last year? What are we talking about here? Very strange, but I could offer him another contract, maybe give him a second chance. We need to get our positional needs. So Gunnar Henderson is a shortstop, left-handed bat. So shortstop for Gunnar Henderson, right field for you, and then pitcher for you. And then team needs left-handed bat, right-handed bat, and then I already have the max amount of team needs. Oh, okay. This is an insane thing that we're trying to do here. It's not going to work. But I'm kind of curious that if it does work, it'd be unbelievable. Let's see what happens. Paul Skeens' trade has been officialized. Devers' trade has been officialized. That's not even a word, is it? I don't know, but it has been official. Patrick Blackwell is now our hitting coach. That's good. I'm glad that our staff is actually done now. We're still waiting on arbitration. Can't do free agency just yet. Braves have offered me a trade. Yoel Payamps. Very interesting. For Basabe. Okay, that's a weird deal. You're asking me to pay for a $7 million 34-year-old bullpen arm who had a fairly good year, but I don't like that deal that much. At least not for the guy that you're asking. So I'm going to decline that. And today's the day to offer contracts to free agents. Oh my God, it's time. Devin Williams. The Astros are trying to get Devin Williams. Well, you know what? You can have him. Our motivation is getting crazy for some of these guys. Acuna's motivation is kind of awesome. We can offer a contract. We can't offer Gunnar Henderson just yet, but we can offer a contract to Ronnie Acuna. Oh my God. Do I want to get absolutely insane? I think I do. An 8-year contract is crazy. I'm going to do it. Let's get absolutely wild up in here. We just made the first competitive offer to this top 25 free agent, which gives us a +5 motivation bonus. I can't offer Gunnar Henderson, unfortunately. And I can't offer BB just yet. Oh my God. We're getting absolutely insane. Rasmussen has decided to accept the qualifying offer, is now under contract. Beautiful. Thank you, Rasmussen. That's what we needed to know. Welcome aboard. Welcome aboard for $25 million. Jesus. What's the budget look like? The budget can't be good, right? This isn't going to go well, is it? We're only going to get one of these guys. There's no way we get... Oh my God, here it is. Contract decision. Do not give me the phone. The phone's a bad thing. Give me the pen. Give me the pen. Oh my God, it's the pen. Oh my God, it's a contract. Ronnie Acuna is an angel. Light that baby up. I'm joining the Halos. Ronald Acuna Jr. is a Los Angeles Angel. You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me. We just brought in Ronald Acuna Jr. We have absolutely no money left over after that deal, which obviously is a bad thing. But oh my God, Ronald Acuna Jr. signed the deal. I was kind of just messing around. I didn't think he was actually going to sign. Today's the day to offer contracts. Well, we're not going to be able to bring in Gunnar Henderson. Yeah, due to budgetary constraints, they've been removed. I thought that would be the case. If we go to afforded... Where's the afforded guys? Isn't there like a section for afforded players? There's probably nobody. Actually, we can offer these guys. These are the recommended free agents. I guess that's the afforded guys. But we can't get Gunnar Henderson anymore, which would have been pretty sick. But he didn't want to sign anyway. He was like 23% or whatever. At least Acuna wanted to play for us. Man, that's crazy. I can't believe that actually happened. I can't believe that actually happened. Insane. Legitimately insane. I can't believe that. Royce Lewis signed a 5-year deal with the Guardians. Great. And now it's time for 40-man roster stuff. So let's talk about the 40-man roster. Acuna and Skeens. Look how much we upgraded. Acuna and Skeens on our team now. Okay, so 40-man roster stuff. We got to figure out who we want on the 40-man roster. Who do we want on the 40-man roster? These guys are not Rule 5 eligible. Baez can get taken, but nobody's going to take him. Jorge Ruiz, I doubt gets grabbed. All these guys that are 40-man or Rule 5 eligible, I doubt they ever get taken because they're not good enough to start on a big league team. So they're all safe. AAA, Durangelo's not... He's probably going to make the big league team, I think, as a bullpen guy, possibly. Estrella's looking real good. I'm excited about him. But none of these guys are Rule 5 eligible. Theo Gillen, I think I'm going to make the move not only to add him to the 40-man, but to also... I can't. I'll do that at the start of the regular season. I was going to say, but then when we get to the spring training, it's just going to mess it up anyway. So I was going to call him up to the bigs, but We'll do that at the start of the year. At the start of year 5, we'll do that. But he's now on the 40-man, so he can't get grabbed for the Rule 5. Navarre's not eligible. Brock Burke is eligible, but if somebody wants to grab him, I guess you can. Andres Escalona is not eligible. These guys are all eligible, but nobody's going to take them. So I think we're safe. How many people do we have? What is that, 29 or 39? I mean, we have one more spot available. Who else is on? Who's not on the 40-man that I would like, even if they're not eligible? Bobby Benedict, maybe. Probably Bobby Benedict at this point. I'll keep that spot open in case something else happens. But for now, it's probably going to be Bobby Benedict. So let's move on. George Kirby signs an 8-year, $258 million deal with the Giants. Jose Ramirez did not accept the Guardians' qualifying offer, so the Guardians will get a draft pick. And the Dodgers signed J-Ram to a 3-year, $83 million deal. Of course they do. So not only does he leave the Guardians, but he goes to our main rival, the team that just beat us in the World Series. So they're also upgrading. We upgraded pretty significantly, but they're also upgrading. Henderson is still on the table. How can I get Gunnar Henderson? I'd have to trade so many people. At least I'd have to trade somebody that's super expensive. Like I'd have to trade probably Oneil Cruz if I was going to do that. Or I'd have to trade Drew Rasmussen, but he's not available to be traded. I could trade Helsley. And I can't trade O'Hoppe. If I combined Rengifo and Helsley, I could do that. Because remember, if we were to bring in Gunnar Henderson, Zach Neto would probably move to second base. Rengifo would then become a little bit irrelevant, but I like Rengifo. Those are the only two guys that I'd be willing to trade, because obviously we just re-signed Cruz. We just brought in Acuna. We are paying Trout $35.5 million. Why, Mike? Why did you not retire? For the love of God, just retire already. Jesus. Jesus. All right, so... And I think Acuna had that qualifying offer made, so the Braves are going to get our first-round pick anyway. Or at least one of our draft picks. Jackson Holliday would be sick, too. How long does he have? He's got two more years of arbitration. Do I actually... I could get down on a Helsley trade. Even if it doesn't lead to Gunnar Henderson, I could get down on a Helsley trade simply for the fact that he is on the last year of his contract and he's a little bit older. An Emmanuel Clase deal would be interesting, but he can't be traded. He just got signed, so he can't be traded. He just signed a 1-year deal. Interesting. Or a 9-year deal, I mean. That's what I meant. Where else could we pivot this to? Mason Miller. I can't do that just yet because I need to know what he's going to make. Duran, no. There's not really that many elite closers in this save anymore. Batista's expensive. He's around the same as Helsley, so that's a no-go for that. Bednar's old. Who's this? Lee Brister. Hardly know her. Oh my god, 41 saves, 6 blown? Is this the future? Oh my god. We might have found the future. I mean, we've got Estrella, who could be the future, but Brister proved it at the big league level. Interesting. I wasn't thinking we'd go for a guy like Brister, like a guy that's been drafted in this series, but I mean, if he's doing stuff like that, maybe we can't deny it. Because the only other guy that I'd be going after is Clase, but Clase can't get traded right now. So, do we go after Lee Brister, who's an 82 overall? He was just an all-star this year. I remember him. I remember you. Lee Brister. This would be a weird move, but it would give us some money. And money's always good. I think I might do this. Go for the future. Send away a guy like Jackson Bryant. No, let's send away a guy like Matt Coutney. This would be a wild move to make, but I think it could work out for us in the end. But now I'm trying to get a little greedy, but it's okay. Lee Brister's like one of their top players at 82 overall. He has some crazy potential. Is this a right move? I think it might be. Even though Helsley was really good the past 3 years, including 2 on our team. I think it might be the right move. Pivot to a younger guy who's proven at the big league club or the big league level, was just an all-star this year, and maybe is only going to get better. His sim stats look pretty good right out the gates. The control's not there yet, but his walks per 9 is really good. His clutch is really good. I mean, those are comparable with Helsley. Now, obviously, Helsley is an all-star top tier player, so his stats are going to be amazing, but I'm very tempted to do this. Not even for the fact that it could lead to Gunnar Henderson, just for the simple fact that this would be really sick to have. I think I'm going to do the deal. Ryan Helsley's now a Padre. We get Lee Brister, an all-star this past season, and our new closer. Our new closing pitcher. 41 saves last year. I'm excited. I'm excited about him. And he opens up a lot of money. Opens about $12 million to the squad, which we're going to need for... We're going to need that money for these arbitration deals, because they haven't even gone through yet. So the only other guy that I'd be willing to trade is Renhefo, which I don't even really want to do. But I might have to, for the simple fact of being able to bring in those arbitration guys. We have to be able to afford that. So I'm going to wait on that. We're going to move a little bit deeper into free agency here. There's the Helsley trade to the Padres. Logan Webb signs a 3-year deal with the Brewers. I'm waiting for that frickin' Gunnar Henderson deal to come through. We still can't afford him. We have $20 million in budget, and he's wanting $35. I almost want to free up enough money to get him, but it's a stupid deal. We're trying to bring in all these arbitration guys. We can't afford it. Devin Williams signs a 1-year deal with the Yankees. Well, if that's all he was asking for, I probably could have paid that. The tender contracts, we've offered all of them too. We're done with that, so we can move on to the next week. Another day off for free agents. Ketel Marte signed a 1-year deal with the Cubs. Interesting. Munoz goes to the Tampa Bay Rays. Andres Munoz. Gunnar Henderson's still available. He's debating offers. Chris Bubich traded from the Royals to the Twins for Bailey Ober and Rain Doncon. Doncon. Here's the draft lottery. We have the second to last pick because we lost the World Series, so we will probably stay exactly right there. That's totally fine. We knew that going in. We knew that when we won the World Series last year. The Brewers have the number 1 pick. They had a 10% chance to get up to the number 1 pick, and they jumped up. I do want to point out the fact that in the last episode of my Montreal Expos video, or series, we had the 16th projected pick. It was like a 0.5, 0.4% chance, something around there. And we jumped all the way to number 1 in that series. It was absolutely insane. I'm still kind of shocked as that how we did that. I don't even know. So just wanted to point that out if you missed that episode. Ezekiel Tovar traded from the Rockies to the Padres for Ian Happ and Yager Haynes. Okay. Very interesting. Another day to sign free agents. Jazz Chisholm traded from the Mets to the Yankees. Or from the Yankees to the... I got that backwards, excuse me. From the Yankees to the Mets. So he stays in New York, just a different suburb. Carson Benj and Tom Peterson. So 2 younger guys. But Tom Peterson's obviously the prospect in there. Jazz Chisholm going to the Bronx. Or going to the Queens City. Not Queen City. You know what I'm talking about. He's going to Queens, not Bronx. He was in the Bronx. Here's the Rule 5 draft. Carson Whisenhunt, Ryan Jensen. Actually, a lot of people getting taken here, but none of our guys, I don't think. We actually have a chance to take somebody here, but I'm not going to because they have to stay on our big league team the whole year, and I don't really want to do that. But are there any young guys that made it, that slipped through the cracks? Maybe there's some potential here. Kopech. You know what? Kopech actually might not be a bad one. We could always use bullpen help. He hasn't been the bigs for 3 seasons. Good Lord. I didn't realize you were that down bad. Michael Kopech is not that bad of a deal. If I'm going to take anybody, it's going to be him. Although this guy looks not too bad, but he's not big league ready just yet. Trey Page. There's not anybody else that I want, unless it's Michael Kopech. Would I want Michael Kopech? 32 years old. Hasn't been in the bigs for years. Is he really going to be on my team the whole year? That's the big question. He's a 77 overall. So he's right there behind Bachman. He's really just, I think it's just a waste, I think. Because if you're not familiar with how the Rule 5 draft works, if you take somebody, they have to stay on your team on your main MLB team the entire year, or they just revert back to the team you drafted them from. So if I were to take Kopech, and not play him the whole year on the big league team, he'd just go back to the Dodgers. So for nothing, basically. And I don't think it's worth it. I'm going to let Kopech stay. I'm not going to take anybody. We're going to skip our selection. And I would doubt anybody takes him. He's just going to stay on the Dodgers. So we will move. And if I was going to take him, I might as well trade for him if I'm going to have him on the team, because he's not going to be that expensive. And then we can be flexible with him. Riley Green signs the deal with the Yankees, so they freed up the money from trading Jazz Chisholm to go get Riley Green. But Gunnar Henderson is still on free agency. He's still available. I hate it. Stop it. Sign with the team so I'm not tempted. Please. Gunnar Henderson goes to the Mets on an 11-year, $400 million contract. Oh my God. Gunnar Henderson just broke the internet. And the Mets splashed so much cash. What? What do the Mets even look like at this point? That's the Phillies. The Mets have Gunnar Henderson, who's making $36 million for 11 seasons. Juan Soto, who's 30, but he's making $51 million. And they've got Logan Gilbert, who's making 28.5. Dalton Varsho's making 22. Jazz, they just traded for, making 22. This Mets team is unreal. How do they have the money to pay Juan Soto and Gunnar Henderson? I mean, that's 36 and 51. That's $77 million per season to two players. How are you paying that? No, that's not even set. That's 80. Excuse me, my math was off by one. That's $87 million you're paying to two people. Or $86 million, whatever it is. You're paying so much money to two players. I guess you're going for it all. I mean, the rest of their team feels it. Look at the rest of this squad. This is not a well put together team. Why would they spend so much on just two players? You have no catcher. You have no first baseman. You have no closing pitchers on the roster. Your bullpen sucks. Your starters are just two guys. What is this team? You have no third base. Mark Vientos is good, but not great. Although he's got 99 power now. That's cool. Nimmo's all right, but aging. Varsho's fine, but also old. What is this team? You're two players, but you're three players. I'll give you that. You're three players. That's a wild deal. Absolute insanity. The Mets just produced right there. They also just traded for freaking Jazz. Cole Reagan signs a 7-year, $200 million deal to go play for minor league A's. Good for you, Cole, I guess. Go chase your bag. I think we're done. Now that the Gunnar Henderson deal is off the table, I think we're done making moves. The only moves that we'd have to make is to free up the money to bring back the qualifying offer guys. Kyle Bradish signs a 2-year deal with the Orioles. Let's get to those qualifying. That's the last big thing we have this offseason. These huge qualifying offers, including Paul Skeens. Here we go. Qualifying offers are being made. Brock Burke. The arbitration panel sided with him, so we're paying him $1.6 million. Jose Suarez. The arbitration panel sided with us, so we're paying him $830K. The arbitration panel sided with Nolan Schonel, so we're paying him $11.4. The arbitration panel sided with Paul Skeens. No, they sided with us for Paul Skeens, so we're paying him $22 million. All right, that's pretty expensive. That is pretty darn expensive. That leaves us with $18 million, but Paul Skeens is here. He is here for at least a season. God, I hope Trout retires so that $35 million frees up. Edwin Uceda, the panel sided with us, we're paying him 3.5. The panel sided with us for Ben Joyce, we're paying him 4.2. The panel sided with us for Bryce Miller, we're actually doing really well with the panel this year. We're paying him 18.1 for Bryce Miller. The panel side with us for Kirkerine, we're paying him 5.2. Man, we're getting lucky. We are getting real lucky. What about our budget now? We have O'Hoppy's deal. Bryce Miller's right there. Also a free agent up in the upcoming season. The panel side... Oh, this isn't the right thing. This is the big board. We don't need that. We're good. Sam Bachman, the panel side with us again, 4.2. Panel side with us for James Woods, $7 million even. Rhett Lauder, they side with him, so we're paying him 17. Good Lord. And then panel side with us for Christian Campbell, 2.8. They side with us for Junior Caminero, 8.7. They side with us for Big Christmas, 3.5. They side with us for Bo, 2.2. And they side with Gonzalez for 855K, 855K. Jared Jones, 22.8. They side with him. And that is all of our arbitration hearings finished. And that leaves us with a good $2.92 million. Oh my God. We have no money, but we signed Ronald Acuna Jr. When I went into this episode, I did not think that Acuna Jr. would be on the team. Trust me. And we have Paul Skeens as well. Oh my God. What a free agency. What an episode. This is not where I thought this video would go, but it is so fun. I am here for it all the way. And I'm also very curious as to what the F the frickin' Mets are going to do. They have no money, and they're paying two guys. Very strange, but Paul Skeens is on the roster. Wow. Paul Skeens is on the roster. Gillen is going to be... If the roster spot is available, he's going to make the big league team. I think that's pretty fair to say. And I think the same goes for... Gerangelo Saintia. Now, as far as the team, the lineup goes, we probably need to add Junior to third base to take over the Devers spot. Shawano moves to DH. Very interesting. I don't mind that. Perez is still the first baseman. Oahapi's here for now. We'll see how his season goes. If he's still not producing like amazingly, then we might move him at the deadline. There's a possibility. And now we got to move Trout out of the right field spot. I hate to do it, but I can't have it. So we got to move him out of the right field spot, which means Ronald Acuna Jr. is now the right fielder. Jesus Christ. I mean, look at our outfield. James Wood, Ronald Acuna Jr., Oneil Cruz. That's an insane outfield. Big Christmas against righties, and then Shawano against lefties. I feel like that's not an amazing switch. I mean, we could have Trout be the DH against righties if we want to get him on the play, but I kind of want to just have John Kenzie just be the DH. I think that's fine, at least for now. My God, what an episode. What an episode. When I loaded this up, I did not think that's how this episode would play out, ending with Paul Skeens and Ronald Acuna Jr., but it's how it ended. And I could not be more excited for the next episode. Season number 5 is about to be underway, right? Season number 5? That's the wrong thing. We have $30 million in budget now? Awesome. Sick. If we go to the GM goals, yes, season number 5. Season number 5 is about to be underway. In the next episode, I will get through the spring training, make sure the rosters are all right, the big league club, the minor league teams, everybody, the 40-man, everything's ready to go for the next episode for the start of season number 5, where we debut Paul Skeens and Ronald Acuna Jr. as new Los Angeles Angels, and we make another push for a second World Series. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave it a like, subscribe to the channel for more, join the Juice Club, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.